Hey, friend, Church D coming at you once again. Thank you for tuning in to What Does It Take to Win? So, I'm going to get right to it. I'm not going to keep you very long this episode, but I think it's a very, very, very important topic that I'll be talking about today. It has to deal with our hearts and our heart health. So, that's actually going to be the title of this episode. It's called Heart Health Guard Your Heart. It's not physical heart, but it's our emotional heart. But before we get started and jump right into things, I just want to say if you'd like to purchase my music or download it, stream it, whatever, you can go ahead and grab my latest project by the name of The Big Reveal. It's my latest EP that I released at the end of June, so the very beginning of summer of 2020. And you can grab my other music. I released a single back in March 2020 by the name of The Vision. And I also released an album in May 2019 by the name of The Cactus, Bare Minimum 2.0. You can grab all my music. It's available on all digital outlets, every platform, anywhere you stream or purchase music. You should be able to find in either one of my projects, any one of them. So it's all out there for you. Help me collect my coins, download, stream, etc. And yeah, help a brother out. I'm just kidding. But yes, let's dive right into it. So today we will be talking about heart health and how important it is to guard our hearts. And I have 4 points that I'm going to touch upon during this podcast. And I believe it's going to be pretty helpful, especially with everything that's been going on as of late. But if we've been paying closer attention, things have been getting crazier and crazier by the day for a long time. So it just seems to have all boiled over at this point. So without further ado, the first point is number 1, know when it's time to cut people off. Okay. It's not as harsh as it sounds, but I'll dive into that a little bit later. The second point is to turn off the TV, take a break from social media, and just unplug. I think that might be one of the more important ones. The third point is to focus on you. Focus on you and focus on the things that are within your reach. And the fourth and final point is to find your happy place / your outlet. Okay. So let's get started with the first point. Know when it's time to cut people off. Now, it doesn't have to be as harsh as it sounds. Sometimes it's as simple as just keeping the right company. So to expand on this or to elaborate, if you're around people who are always gossiping and just bringing things to the table that's not very constructive, or just constantly having conversations about things that aren't going to help you become a better person or help you to advance your career or your projects, or kind of light a fire under you in order to spark up your entrepreneurial venture, etc. Those are the people you might want to cut off. Well, not might want to. You absolutely want to cut them off. All they're doing is distracting you from the bigger picture, from your big and great plans that are going to be changing the world and your life. So definitely cut those people off. Another group of people you can cut off would be those who are draining you. Those who are always in need for your emotional support, but can never return the favor when you're feeling down. Those are the people that you absolutely want to cut off. Anybody that reaches out to you, and I don't know if they're always crying or always down, always blue, or whatever the case may be. And then as soon as they feel better and you're drained because you just had to be there for them, and now it's your turn, like, okay, I'm having a bad day. Can I talk to you? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I can't talk right now. And you have to figure it out on your own. Those are the type of people you want to cut off. They're like leeches. They're not good for you. They take what they can get from you. You pour everything out into them, and you're drained at the end of the day. And you got to pick yourself up, so that's not fair. Also, if you're connected with somebody who always wants your ideas or advice on something, or even like your product or service, but they're not really supporting your brand, or they don't offer that in return, get away from them. Guard your heart from them. They're not out here looking out for they're not here for your best interest. They're just here to get what they can from you. Especially like if you're just minding your business and here's how you know who's really here for you. This is a little bit of a rant. Let's say you go off the grid for a little bit and you don't hear from anybody. The people that you used to reach out to, they don't reach out to you. Okay? That's how you know the ones who are there for you versus the ones who are not there for you. So that person who may have been reaching out to you, asking you for advice all the time, or saying, hey, how can I do this? Or what do you think of that? All of a sudden, they don't see you anymore because you went off the grid and you don't hear from them. They weren't ever there for you. They were just there for what you had to offer. So sorry about that little rant, but get away from those people, or cut them off. Cut them off and guard your heart from them. Moving right along to point number 2. Turn off the TV, take a break from social media, and unplug. Okay. Now, social media is highly addicting. I remember when it first came out, a lot of people, especially like people in church, because, I grew up in church, obviously. A lot of people in church, they would say, oh, that stuff is the devil. And I'd be like, well, why is it the devil? Well, fast forward, 20 years later since MySpace was launched? Has it been that long, or 15? I don't know how long. I'd have to look it up. But I can kind of understand what they were talking about. It's like they were ahead of their time. Social media is like a double-edged sword. The good part about it is you can use it to promote or to share and to raise awareness. But the bad part about it is it's highly addictive and it's highly and heavily opinionated. And that can be depressing for many people because to read all of these different opinions that offend you constantly, daily, it's draining. That's not good for your emotional health. And not to mention a lot of the information that we see, it'll cause fear, especially on the news or even on social media. They'll tell you one thing, and if you look at the statistics or the data that's actually connected to it, it's not necessarily the case. So disconnect from that. It's loaded with opinions, and a lot of the people on social media, now this might not be you, but I'm sure you have somebody on your friends list, on your timeline, someone that you follow who doesn't have their emotions all the way in check. So stay away from that. You don't have to constantly look at their opinions and get triggered by it. Hey, that person might actually be you. You may not realize it, but your emotions might not be all the way in check. It's fine. You can get therapy for that, or you can just sit with it and say, okay, these things are triggering me. Let me take some time out and think about it. Let me talk to a friend and so on and do some research and figure it out. So definitely guard your heart from social media and from TV. If you notice, like the news, they will put the same story on and just repeat it over and over and over again until it's like in your DNA, if you will. And that same method, believe it or not, it's like practicing or like studying. So for me, as somebody who plays piano, if I need to learn some music, I just repeat the same thing over and over and over again until I'm no longer making any mistakes, until it becomes a part of me. Okay, well, if that works for practice and becoming a better piano player or musician or whatever, then how much more for your emotional health? If you're constantly watching the news and they're saying the same thing over and over again, you're going to start to believe it, and you're going to start to get controlled by fear. That's awful for your emotions, and that's terrible for your heart health. Whether it's physical, because stress, depression, all of that stuff really affects you physically, or emotionally. It's not good for your heart health. So please keep that in mind as I move on to my third point, which is to focus on you. Focus on you and things that are within your reach. Now, sometimes we overextend ourselves trying to be there for others, as I mentioned. And it's cool. Like, it's good to bear one another's burdens, but let's not do something that goes unreciprocated. So if I'm always there for you and you're never there for me, it's time for me to fall back and focus on me, and vice versa. If you're always there for me and I'm never there for you, you might want to fall back and say, okay, yep, thank you. I've been there for you, but now I need to deal with my own emotions and my situations that I have going on. You can focus on your own goals, focus on your own feelings. So let's say you're busy helping everybody achieve their goals. You're busy being the brain for their business. And then when it's time for that to happen with you, everybody has kind of ghosted you. Okay, thank you. You helped me. Bye-bye. I'm going to go make my millions now. That's not fair. So focus on yourself. Focus on your feelings. If you're feeling a certain type of way, whether you're down, whether you're depressed, whether you just have this, general malaise that you can't seem to shake, focus on it. Ask yourself, okay, what's going on? Why do I feel like this? Is it the weather? Am I lacking like a vitamin? Should I up my vitamin D? I think it is. Whatever the case may be, focus on your feelings, focus on your emotions. Take some time out to chill and just kind of gather your thoughts. Also, when you're taking time out to focus on you, this is the best time to develop your craft or to learn something new and perfect it. Learn a new skill. We've been in a pandemic and things have been shut down since March of 2020, and they're just now like slowly going back to normal, quote unquote. But during that time when it was shut down and everybody had to work from home or transition their businesses to an online model, that would have been the perfect time to pick up a new trade or to learn something and become more creative and to really work on ourselves. So, whenever you get time like that, or even if you have to make time, just learn something new, develop yourself, develop your thoughts. And this will help you to feel better about yourself overall and be a better person, be a better businessman, be a better entrepreneur, be a better person, better in relationships, whether it's romantic or whatever. Yeah, it'll help. It'll help with anything you put your hands to. Anything you put your hands to will surely prosper. I mean, that's already the case now, but imagine if you're like a professional at what you've been doing. It's going to be that much easier. And you'll feel a lot better about yourself. It'll actually make you happy, which leads me into my fourth and final point of finding your happy place / your outlet. This is key. Figure out what makes you happy and hold on to it closely. It might be something as simple as a song or a style of music. It could be an activity. It could be exercise. It could be your favorite food. Just find what makes you happy and hold on to it. It could be the company of others. You might have that special person, whether it's your best friend, a family member, a mentor, a colleague, whoever puts a smile on your face that you can just sort of, go to and talk about anything with and offers sound advice. Hold on to that person. They're good for you. They're not one of those leeches that's just going to take what they can from you and not pour back in, like mentioned in the earlier point. Just had to slide that in there. But yeah, find it and hold on to it. Think of this as your reset button. And I want you to visualize this. So back in the day, I used to play video games. I don't play video games anymore. I guess I'm old now. But although I do hear that the old guys still play video games, which is interesting to me. I digress. But back in the day, if you were playing video games and let's say it's you against the computer and the computer is whooping you and you're losing and you start getting frustrated and you want to throw your controller at the screen, you could get up and press the reset button and start all over and try to defeat the computer all over again. It'll be as though you never lost because you didn't forfeit the game, but you just hit reset. So it's like, oh, a glitch happened. Let's start all over so I can win. So let's think of our happy place as our reset button. When things begin to get crazy, when we're overwhelmed, when we're stressed out, let's find our happy place. Hey, our happy place might even be prayer. It should be prayer. You could start your day off with prayer so that you start off in your happy place and you can end your day with prayer. You end up in your happy place. But that's another story. But yeah, find your happy place. That's your reset button. You could binge watch TV on the weekends if you have time, pull up your favorite streaming service and go for it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to watch seasons 1 through 4 of this show all in 8 to 10 hours. I don't recommend that unless you have nothing but time on your hands or you're really stressed out, by the way. But, do what you got to do. Hit your reset button. Find your happy place, and it's going to be that much better for you when it's time to be productive with anything that you put your hands to. Guard your heart. It's going to be good. So let's do a quick recap of the 4 points that we touched upon. The first one is to know when it's time to cut people off. Hey, not everybody's a friend, and it doesn't have to be harsh, but you got to focus on yourself. Point number 2, turn off the TV, take a break from social media, and unplug. You don't need to hear everybody's opinion. You don't need to be force-fed fear. Things are crazy enough. You have enough to deal with in your life already. Don't spoon-feed fear to yourself. Point number 3, focus on you and the things that are within your reach. And my fourth and final point that we just touched upon is find your happy place and your outlet. Hey, it's going to be good. Hit your reset button when things start to get crazy and make sure you guard your heart. Remember, you're too dope of a person for everyone to have access to you. Continue to guard your heart and be great. Thank you for all of your time today. Thanks for tuning in to this podcast. I hope it blessed you. I hope it encouraged you. I hope it inspired you. Hey, if you like it, be sure to click the share button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube at Church D. Check out my website. I'll put the link in the description below. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.